Hello, and welcome to another Rolling Dice Show review of the Sheriff
Let's do this, Andy.
of Nottingham. The Sheriff of Nottingham, the character from the Robin Hood. So, the game is by Arcane Wonders. It plays in about 60 minutes and is for 3 to 5 players. It's a game of deceit, of bluffing, of being a good trader, but a better sheriff. Of Nottingham.
Nottingham. Not these.
Sheriff of... Nottingham. No.
Sheriff.
No.
You said we were playing Sheriff.
Of Nottingham.
Okay. Yeah.
The game is broken up into rounds, and the game lasts for as many rounds as there are players to be the sheriff twice. Once a round ends, the sheriff is moved to the person on the left, and they become the sheriff for the round. Rounds are broken up into 5 phases. The first phase is the market phase, and this is where the merchants, me for instance, get to discard cards from their hand to gain new cards from either the discard pile or the main deck. Now there are 3 types of cards, and the first set are the green cards. Now these are legal goods. You can bring these into Nottingham anytime you want. They're bread, they're cheese, they're apples, and they're chickens. I mean, some people like to name the chickens. I like to name the chickens. I mean, it's just a personal thing. The next set of cards are the contraband. Now these are illegal, and you will be fined if the sheriff finds out you're bringing contraband into Nottingham. I guess that kind of makes sense because he doesn't want normal citizens having crossbows, but crossbows sell at a higher price and they help you at the end of the game. Finally, there are the king's goods. Now these are like normal items, but even better. So these just aren't any apples. They're green apples, which are kind of like M&S apples, but better. Now they'll count for extra apples at the end of the game, which will also help you win. Now the next phase is the load the merchant bag phase. Now each player gets a merchant bag, and they pop open with a bit of a noise. At this point, you decide from your hand what you're going to put into it. And there's a maximum of 5 cards that go in, and the special rule is once you've closed it, you can't open it again. That's it. It's closed. We then move to the declaration phase. Now this is when you turn to the sheriff of Nottingham and you tell them what is in your bag. Now the only rule is that you must be accurate with the number of cards in the bag. You can't say 3 if you've only got 2. But you don't have to be entirely accurate with what the cards are. So you turn to the sheriff of Nottingham. You say, "Hey sheriff, I've got 2 chickens. Harold and Evie, they're fine. It's 2 chickens. Whatever. So, 2 chickens. There you go. 2 chickens." And that's when we go to the inspection phase.
So now we're in the inspection phase, which is where the sheriff, which is obviously me,
Of Nottingham.
yeah,
Nottingham.
of Nottingham, he's going to collect all the bags. I've already got Andy's here. I just need the rest of them from the other players. That's great.
Perfect.
That's
Always a late one.
got all of them now. That's
Winner.
that's great. I mean, the players might have wanted to have given me them a little bit nicer than that, because now I might be less willing to let things slide. But yeah, so this is the point where now I've got all the bags, I'm going to decide whether or not to let these pass through to market or whether I'm going to open them up and inspect them. Now, these people might be lying. You've got 2 chickens, you said. 2 chickens.
Harold and Evie.
Harold and Evie.
Sir.
Yeah. So at this point, this was yours, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that's
this
the
one.
purple one.
Good one.
I'm not sure I can hear any chickens in there, but
I mean, they're quiet.
they're very quiet. They're well-behaved chickens, are they?
Quiet chickens.
Yeah, I hear about those all the time. That's quite common breed of chicken.
I mean, if you want just 5 silver, I don't want to trouble you.
Oh, okay.
So like you could just
That's
give
quite interesting.
That's
And that's perfect demonstration of what the players can do at this point. They can choose to bribe me to
bribe is such a strong word.
Well, essentially they can make any sort of deals. So they can make deals with other players, they can make deals with me, they can make deals with me to open other players' bags or to let their own pass. Basically anything goes. But if they do make a deal, they have to stick to it. So you can't say, and you can't take back this 5 if I decide not to open it.
I would never do
like, that's definitely mine.
That's definitely. Yeah, as long as you don't open it. I think the 5 silver.
And I am going to let that slide. I'm going to let that go past. So there's your 2 chickens.
Thank you, kindly.
And I get this 5. But I'm not quite so sure about this blue chap. This blue chap said that he had 2 bread in there, and
Looks
it just
like a Smurf to me.
doesn't seem quite likely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose to inspect this guy's bag.
It's fair.
So I've got to open it, and again it's the popper. As soon as that popper's gone, I can't change my mind.
No takesy backsies.
No
You've
takesy
got to
backsies.
expect it.
And look at this. That's not acceptable. There's a crossbow in there with his bread, so I mean...
Disgusting behaviour.
Exactly, he's just...
Absolutely vile.
He's a liar, he's a brigand. Yeah, so, I mean, the bread's fine. He did tell the truth about that bread. Thanks for throwing that away. That was useful. But the crossbow, obviously not. So, he's got to pay me a fine, which is in the bottom left of the card. Bottom right of the card, even. Oof. So in this case, it's 4. It varies on some of the different things. So, like the mead there is 4. And yeah, so he's got to give me that money.
What if they were telling the truth?
If they were telling the truth and I had inspected them, I would have had to. Yeah. So
Sure.
Let's say that I chose to open the Reds bag. You're perfect assistance here. Let's say I chose to inspect this guy. He said he had 2 apples, and he did have 2 apples in there now.
He looks like a mug.
A
right mug.
I feel really bad.
Yeah.
So now I've got to pay this player, because obviously I've inconvenienced him, messed him around. Just give him a couple of coins for his time, and that, again, that's the fine in the bottom right of the card. Yeah. So once we've decided to let all of the cards go past, or just to not,
then we move to the end of the round phase, where players can open up their little bags, and if they're telling the truth, that's why we put the cards right by. If maybe they're a bit sneaky, they could put their contraband face down underneath their board, and that does not get revealed until the end of the game.
What's that you?
I mean, that's just that. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so at the end of the game, players then total up all the money they've got from the value of the cards they have. Bonuses are awarded to people with the most legal goods, so the King of the Apples gets 20 extra gold, and then the highest value wins. It's quite simple. I mean, that was still technically a chicken though.
Well, it's a rooster.
It's a royal rooster.
Yeah, so it's...
Harold's a beast.
Well, I should have known, because you said Harold, and why would you call a female chicken Harold? That's I feel bad. So that's Sheriff
Of Nottingham.
Yeah, Sheriff
Of Nottingham.
Sheriff.
So there, a game that probably is better than how we described it, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
And the joys in the interaction in the declaration phase of the game. I mean, it's really fun when you're just facing opposite the sheriff, and maybe you've been playing for a while already. He's wronged you, but you need him on your side, and you've got to just try and do anything without looking suspicious. Because as soon as you play that first bribe, then you've entered a money game.
Well, there's like a tipping point of when it's acceptable to play a bribe within each round.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you do it too early, it's like, well, clearly I need to see what's in there. But if you do it too late, then it's like, well, I mean,
it just looks like a weak effort.
A weak effort is like, he's trying to get you to open the bag, because obviously then he gets money, and it might be a lot less than what he's trying to slip you.
I tell you what is fun though, and we had such great fun with this last time. So I had such great fun with this last time. Every time Richard put his bag down, I'd be like, "There's 3 coins. Open his bag."
Yeah, we didn't.
Every time.
That wasn't.
And it infuriates him. And then he's got to change his game plan because he knows it's coming. So that really puts him on edge.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I found that hilarious. You
Yeah.
found that hilarious as well, right?
I thought it was very funny, but I also wanted to punch you in the face.
That happens quite a bit
Yeah.
when Rolling Dice Show plays. But yeah, no, it's a fun game.
It's very fun, but I do find
Oh,
that it goes on just a little bit too long every time we play. I always find that come the last, because 5 rounds is quite a lot between 4 people or 5 people. That's normally how many people we have playing it.
yeah.
And it always just seems as though that last round everybody's kind of done.
Yeah, but then I do agree, but also at the same time, I like to be the sheriff twice.
Yeah.
So like when you finish after after everyone's had a go, you're like, actually, I can't wait until I'm the sheriff again, because
Yeah.
that is quite fun having that power.
Yeah.
over
Oh yeah,
people.
yeah. It's quite a big deal to do that. It just.
But yeah, I can see it does. I think it'd be too harsh to say outstays its welcome.
No, yeah, because every time we played it, we've had fun playing it. So I don't think that's right at all. Because we wouldn't be having so much fun with it if that was the case.
Yeah.
But I do just think you just need to be quite careful with how much time you're spending on the negotiations, and it does suggest that in the rulebook.
Oh yeah, actually that's a good point we were thinking of putting in, which we didn't. But yeah, timing the rounds just so that it doesn't go on.
Just so that it keeps flowing, because otherwise you can get quite bogged down into one negotiation where so many deals are crossing hands.
Yeah.
But that does mean that ultimately, come the end of the game, you're probably going to be like just ready to move on to something else.
Yeah.
Not necessarily not enjoying it, just kind of ready to be finished.
I will say, let's talk about the bags, because the fact they pop
That's
means I cannot stop.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
I think that it's such a small thing to have. Like if you took them out, you wouldn't realise what you were missing. But the fact that when it's got that sort of note of defeat or victory.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a clear cut, and it's very clever really to actually to have that in the game, because this game could be very easily quite muddy in terms of like, oh no, I didn't want to open this. It's like, well, you did. It popped. We all heard it pop. You opened it. Now deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
So it's really nice, and just like you say, just a nice detail. It's really satisfying to open and close those. Like, it feels quite final every time you do it, which is the whole point.
And it's nice the fact they didn't go cheap with it as well. Like, because you could, you've got to put cards into a bag. Okay, here's some like plastic rubbish, like you can just use. Like it would just ruin it a bit for me.
Yeah, like the papery type bags that you get with Marvel Dice Masters that last all of 2 minutes. Yeah, they've gone nice with that kind of faux velvet stuff. And actually, the whole game's put together quite well. The artwork's really cool,
Solid.
I like nice sort of cartoony style. Some nice chunky player boards that obviously you're moving on stuff behind. The coins, all of like a decent size and all clear. It's a really well put together thing.
Yeah. The only complaint I would have is the contraband is effectively useless, because it will give you a nice little bump in terms of initially that they're worth more than individual cards. But being the king of chickens, and obviously it's not always a great reputation, but in the game it will give you that extra 10, 20 gold at the end, which will just help boost you up over other players. And if I've only ever played legal cards every time I've played Sheriff of Nottingham.
Yeah.
And it just, I won the first time I did that, and then it just sort of put me off the later times, because you're never going to get fined.
Yeah, I mean...
And it's easy to play shifty. It's easier to play shifty than it is to play on this.
Yeah. It's always... I don't think I've ever seen anybody not do well playing truthfully. Like, you're definitely not going to come bottom of the score, because you're going to get the stuff through to market. And like Andy says, you become Chicken King, Apple King, Cheese King, whatever. You're getting a ton of points at the end game.
Yeah.
I think the king goods help to kind of
Balance that
out a little bit, because it just pushes you that a little bit harder, because obviously having somebody's brought so many cheese through, say, so just having that king cheese that will get you that extra 2 makes quite a big difference and kind of pushes you. But even so, I think a lot of people will just choose to play fair.
Yeah, I don't think I actually explained that in the rules section, but the king contraband acts as like double or triple the goods, so that'll just help you boost up at the end for the totals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that does help.
But even so, it doesn't fully solve the problem.
Yeah.
But still, that's going to depend on your play group as well, because you might just like lying, and if you want to get the maximum number of points, exactly like me, then you're only going to get that by lying, because you're only going to get those extra things by managing to smuggle them through, and they are worth a big load of points at the end of the game.
Yeah. So, Sheriff of Nottingham. Nottingham. What do you think? Summarise
in 3 minutes. I really like it. I think it's good. I think definitely one person in your group should have it.
Yep.
I don't think you necessarily all need to have it, because it's a game that kind of thrives on the group. Like, if you have a good group of friends that are all kind of into bluffing games, then you'll have a lot of fun with this. So whether you kind of nudge somebody into buying it, or you all put a couple of pounds in so you get access to it, you like, one of you ought to have it. I think it's the sort of thing that you'll play every now and again, and keep coming back to it.
I think it's a solid but not excellent game.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to summarise. So if that sounds like it's in your interest, definitely give it a go. And if not, maybe it's a pass. But thank you for watching our review. Rich, your hat is on backwards. And we'll see you next time. Of Nottingham.
Sheriff! I'm a sheriff. I'm a sheriff.